Hello YouTube, and today I'm going to be talking about fractional exponents. So, before we begin, I would like to go over some terminology with you. So, this is our basic square root sign, and we're getting new vocab terms as we progress into our algebraic adventure. So, this right here, this tari is called the index. And this is called the square root thing that we were used to in elementary school is called the radical. And this is defined as under the radical. Okay? So, and basically, so I'm gonna just erase this, and if there's a square, I'm just gonna introduce you to like how to say these different indexes. So this is the square root, this is the cube root, this is the fourth root, this is the fifth root. So anything over any index O over 3, you just say the nth root. Okay? So let's just go over some terminology and introduce you to the world of fractional exponents. Okay? So I'm going to prove to you another way. I'm going to prove to you the concept of fractional exponents. So we're going to start off by making the assumption that the square root of b equals b to the kth. And now I'm just going to solve this, and then later in math you can appreciate what I've done. I'm just going to show you how it came, so you're not thinking like I pulled this out of nowhere. So then you get b equals b to the 2k, and then this is a b to the first, and then you can just cross off that those b's, because it's basically like taking the logarithm base b on both sides, though those cancel out, and you get 1 equals 2k, and you divide by 2, and you get k equals 1/2. So basically, what I've proven here is I've said that when you raise something to a fractional power, you basically get a square root, or a third root, or an nth root. Radical. So now that I showed you that, you at least get sort of an assumption as to what I'm going to be talking about when I mean fractional exponents. So now I'm going to define b to the 1 over n. Okay, so a number raised to the power of 1 over n is equal to the nth root of that number. Okay, so I'm going to erase this now. And let's start. So 3 to the 1/2. Well, this equals to the square root of 3. And as we saw, so the denominator comes to be the index, and the 3 is what's under the radical. So let's do a few more, because this is pretty confusing. When I was introduced to it, I was mind-boggled. So let's say 2 to the 1/7. Well, as before, the 7 goes here to the index, and the 2 comes over here. Okay? Okay, so now let's just do a few more practices, because this is tough stuff. So 125 to the 1/3. Well, that's just equal to, see if you can figure it out before I tell you the answer. Well, so I assumed you paused and tried it out. So the 3 goes over there, and the base just comes here to go under the radical. And now we can actually try to solve this. So what x to the third power equals 125? What number raised to the third power is 125? And you could make a factor tree, and you'd come across that 125 was 5 to the third power. So that's the answer. And now I think you sort of get it. So I'm gonna introduce you to the main underlying concept of this. So b to the m over n. So what happens when you have numbers other than 1 in the numerator and the denominator? So a number raised to the power of m over n is equal to the nth root of that number raised to the mth power. For example, this is equal to the square root of n of b, all of it raised to the m. So I'm just going to do it again. So the b comes here. Oh, yeah, the b comes there. What am I doing? So I'm just going to rewrite this because I really want this to be clear. So b to the m over n. Okay, so the b comes here under the radical. Okay? The n comes here as the index, and we're raising the whole thing to the mth power. Okay, hopefully you sort of got that. I know it wasn't the best presentation, but I'm going to do some example problems. You should get it. So 8 to the 2/3. But this is equal to 8 goes under the radical, and then the 3 goes over here, and the whole thing is raised to the second power. Hopefully you found this video interesting. It has taught you a decent amount, and you've come out of it learning more than when you started. I'm just going to draw the conclusion that you should get out of this equals the square root of b. Okay, this is what you have to know for this chapter. And hopefully I've explained it well. Otherwise, you can tell me and I'll make another video on it. Thank you for